Welcome to Quickshots.
Welcome to Quickshots. Copyright. What copyright? Charterboat? What charterboat?
Producer
Guess
Sammy
what?
coming in with the goods. I like it.
Sammy.
I like it.
Because you're going away, so it's only fair. We load you up with 2 questions today. We
Yep.
keep you honest, and then when you come back, we'll revisit it, but you would have missed like a lot.
Knew this was coming. Fire away.
That's the spirit. This one's from Tommy. Tommy says, we're upgrading our home to a bigger property. Good for you, Tommy. Amazing. And he said, should I convert my current home to an investment property? This is actually, it's a question we get often.
It is, and it is a tough one to answer because there's a few things to consider. First and foremost is your borrowing capacity. What does it look like if you do sell it? What does it look like if you don't? That's a valid consideration. If you're wanting to sort of keep growing your portfolio, is that going to be something that makes a difference? Second thing is the cash flow. What does the cash flow look like if you keep that investment property? And then obviously the growth prospects against buying something else. Is there, other opportunities that might give you better return from a cash flow and growth point of view? And then probably the main one is tax, because your own home is capital gains free. It's the only way in Australia that you can make money and not pay tax legally.
Hallelujah.
And so oftentimes I think for that reason, my default personally is normally to sell your own home, take the capital gains. It then means you can have a big down payment with cash on your next principal place of residence. Whereas if you borrowed, the deposit or whatnot from your old principal place to buy the new one, it's not going to be tax deductible. So, Tom, it is a tough one to answer. They're the things to consider. And my default position is probably to sell without knowing enough about your situation.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'll give this one to you. It's from Lisa. And I reckon this is one of the most common questions that I've been getting, even just from friends and family lately. And it is that Lisa has had her tenant for 6 years. The tenant's been good, never missed a payment, looked after the place. Rent's coming up for a market review, and the property manager says that she can get $50 more per week than what she's getting at the moment. What should she do? I want to try and keep my good tenant, of course.
Yes. Geez, $50 is, we've been hearing ones where people have got reviews of $100, $120, and they're faced with the, what do I do? Especially if they're great tenants, they're paid on time, they've been there for a while, they keep the gardens quite nice and the house. But anyway, that's emotional. My default here is to, or your property manager knows what their situation is. Do they both work? Do mum and dad both work? Do they have kids? How old are their kids? Are their kids in school? What's their household income, essentially? Now, knowing how tight the rental market is, and obviously how Lisa's pretty ethically and morally aligned here, I would say figure out maybe what their household income is, and on $50 more per week, what's that, $2,500 a year, call it, do you think that it is possible in their income to absorb that cost increased? As opposed to, by the way, moving, probably paying the same elsewhere. That's not really your calculation to make, because the property manager will probably discuss that with them. But $2,500, if you've got a single mum with 5 kids on $80,000 a year, you might have a bit of a think about it and just have a discussion on what you're prepared to do, especially knowing your numbers. If you've got a couple in there and they're on a pretty decent income, 150,000 plus, but both their kids are at school, so they're not necessarily home and can't work, then maybe it seems a little bit more reasonable. Cuz what's the threshold these days? Is it about 30%? Is that, the technical term of what you should be spending on your rent or your mortgage, 30% of your household income?
Yeah, 30% is comfortable, is the perception. 30% is comfortable. 25 to 35% I think is the range. Most property managers don't sort of recommend that you take a tenant if the rent amounts to more than 35% of the income. So I guess the same rationale and method should apply to keeping your tenant. You don't want to bump them above 35%. So I think 30% is a good number on those sort of formulas that you just mentioned. I think that's actually a really good way to approach it. I'm going to steal that one.
I mean, the last thing I'd say is, Lisa, have you done any rental increase in 6 years? Now, have you done any rental increase? And if you haven't, I mean, they might be earning more money or whatever. Anyway, last one over to you, Cuz, from John, Jon. I like it. Do you pay stamp duty when you sell a house?
You do not. The buyer always pays the stamp duty. The seller does not have to pay it. You do have to pay some costs when you sell. You'll have commission to an agent probably, some marketing costs. You may, depending on your loan, you may have some break costs for the loan if you've ended it early. And then the big one, if you're an investor, is your tax. You may have some tax to pay.
Yes.
Fortunately, your stamp duty, though, is something that you only pay when you buy the property. So that one doesn't have to come into consideration there, John.
There you have it, Cuz. And the last question here that's come in from Joe Blogs, how many pints are you going to have whilst you're in Germany, ironically over Beer Fest October?
Jeez. Well, I'll start with Steins. I'll start with Steins. So probably only 3, and I'll be. That's about all my little frame can take. So I'm a bit of a lightweight.
My little frame.
If I get through 3 Steins, I'll be very happy. I'll be telling you all about it when I get back.
3 Steins.
Thank you, Joe Blog.
Thanks, Cuz. Thanks, Joe Blog. Thanks, Steins. And we'll see you guys next week. Me and no doubt Mitchell Scale will be jumping onto the pod. Send 3 questions and be good people.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Double Shot with your favourite cousins, Alex and James Fitzgerald. If you've got a burning question or something we absolutely need to talk about on the pod, please write to us. Both of our emails are in the show notes. For little real estate tidbits and a little bit of banter, okay, a lot of banter, you can follow us on the gram. Our handle is thedoubleshot.podcast. That, my friends, is thedoubleshot.podcast. Until next time, think of us when you sit back and sip your next double shot.